Hey folks, figured today I'd talk about the fallacies that players think that they have the rights to on online games. A lot of the rules when it comes to those things is all dependent on where the server is located for the game itself. Um, each country has their own rules, their own laws, and you can't sit there and go, I have this right, this freedom. Most of the time those kind of shouts come from people from the States, but their laws don't really go international. Here in Canada we have the right to freedom of speech, but that freedom is gone as soon as we impugn on somebody else's freedoms. So if we're discriminating against them for age, sex, race, whatever. That kind of thing, or their safety, uttering threats, that kind of thing. But you see the trolls online, they're uttering threats all the time. I'm going to come to your house and beat you up, or I'm going to kill you. Those are usually fairly funny. So the freedom of speech thing, that's not really going to happen for the most part. The sites are run by privatized companies, that's kind of like their own little territories. I've had guys come up to me and complain, when we're on an English server, that they can't speak Welsh. That's one of the ones that I've had to deal with. And the guy even tried posting some of the laws for lesser spoken languages cannot be refused to be spoken, kind of thing. Well, you're not speaking it on games, you're typing it. It's quite a bit different. It's not your own house, it's not your own backyard. There's not really much more that you can do than just follow the rules that they got there. I think that's where a lot of the attitudes come along, where people call mods Gestapos, Nazis, that kind of thing, which is really great because one of the games I work on now is based out of Germany, so that usually goes over fairly well. The mods have the right to remove people. They have the rights to censor what people say, and that's for the most part. Crap, my brain's going blank now. It's cold out here. The rules are put there for the benefit of everybody, not just the one person. And generally, when people sit there and they want something done, or they want to be able to say something or do something, it's usually a very small percentage of the population on the games that want that to happen. They're usually the most outspoken, though. I don't know if they're just suffering from not getting along with other people, or just not having a life, or whatever. But those guys there are usually the bane of the things. But they're usually the smallest percentage. On all the games I worked on, I think on each one at a time there was maybe 3 or 4 people altogether on each one that were the worst. The ones that were crying out, the ones that were causing problems, trolling, that kind of thing. Usually if you complain about them, they're kept an eye on. But they still have to break the rules that are posted. Also, trying to split hairs with mods, that's not going to go over very well. This rule says this, but so I can do this. Generally, it's the rules are there just as a common courtesy to the players. Here's the rules, but most of the time it's use your common sense. If you don't have common sense, then they'll use their common sense for you. That may seem like it's a little bit of power tripping, but mostly it's for the benefit of the entire group of people that are there on the games. And then when things are wanting to be changed, or whatever, and it's the players that are crying out on the forums, you got to realize that the people that use the forums, it's a very small percentage of the people that actually use the forums versus whoever's in the game. One site that I'm on has 180,000 players in the game. That's not too much. It's a smaller one, but in the forums, there's only 1,500 people that are actively on the forums. So look at the ratio on that. It's less than 10%. So people that are screaming, we want this changed, we want this added, just realize that you're the smallest percentage, and if they'll do it, they'll do it. But it's best just to go through in-game and talk to people there and see if they can get on the board with you, rather than you just going in there and trying to make a stand yourself. They always say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, but not in this case. If you squeak too loudly, you'll just not be able to squeak anymore. When dealing with the mods, just realize too that they're human beings. They're people, just like you. And a lot of they're doing is, like I said in the last video, it's a volunteer thing, and they get hurt. Their feelings get hurt just like everyone else. And when that happens, generally they lash out. And the thing is a lot of people, they'll sit there and they'll say, oh, I'll just create more accounts and be a pain in your backside. A lot of the tools for these online games are very simple. All we have to do is click on the person's name. It'll bring up the information about them. I'm not going to say what. That's usually secret. But just bring it up, and then we can just, ban for the IP or ban for the player, or, sometimes I'll let a person start creating an account, because I can actually see when they're actually starting to create another account. And right when they're done, and they're trying to do something, I'll ban them. Trolling and being a pain in the arse, it's not going to win you anything. I know on one game I was on, a guy named, his username was, part of it was Rex. And this guy was a complete arse. He'd come on all the time. I think he's still going there, and he started playing it in 2007, fall. And he still pops in there every once in a while just to troll and be a pain in the butt. I have no idea why people do that, but just realize that your right to the sites are, you can talk, you can communicate. It's a game. Use it as a game. This is kind of more of a preachy video than I wanted to do, but I just wanted to talk about, people thinking that they have the freedom of speech to say and post what they want. And that's not really the way it goes. Going for a walk here, thought I'd take a look around. It's not bad, it's a nice little wooded area. Nice houses up there. A little bridge that I was just on. That house is up there, it's where I live. And, yeah. The players have the rights to enjoy the game. They have the rights to play the game. There's things that are going to be added onto the game that they're not going to like. Usually it's when they figure a system out and then something's added to change the balance of power away from what they know and what they can do. And that's usually when they get pissed off and start whining and complaining that they need it changed back or whatever. Games are always going to evolve. They're always going to change. There's always things going to be added whether you agree to it or not. Generally the rule is, if it makes you that mad, or you're going to go jumping around screaming and crying, go find another game to play. When things are added, it's after a lot of work has been done, a lot of money has been spent putting it together, and they're not going to take it off just because a small percentage of the population is not liking it. Now, a good chunk of the population didn't like it, then something might happen, but that never happens. The majority of the population, they're quiet, they don't say very much. So, next time you're on a game site and you're thinking that they're interfering with your fundamental rights of language or speech or actions, just remember that it's their site. You're there borrowing space, and even if you're paying premium and stuff like that, it's not your right to do what you want, get what you want, say what you want. And if you can learn that, then things usually will get a lot better, actually. You won't have as much fights going on, arguments, Gestapo stepping on you. So hopefully this helps a little bit, and I'll talk to you later.